That's what it's going to boil down to. You can't have both. And this is what's happening. And this is what's causing all the confusion. The confusion is either it is based on the institution of the church, and if the church is supposed to be absolute and correct as it should be in its foundation and who it's tied to, then it is against all the natural aspects of what that stands for.
But don't you think like, this is what I think. This is what I see. Like, this is what I would see if a gay person came up to any church, came into the church, and somebody was like, man, you can't get out of here. I know any one of those bishops, pastors, priests, whatever, they would be like, no, he's just a human being, blah, blah, blah. Just like on the bus, he needs to be here, he's resurrected, he can do whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like even if they're saying about that's what they would still say, they would still have something just, oh, he's a human being. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to have to back it up.
Well, okay, and I understand what you say by that. And that doesn't, okay, let's say, for instance, that a person is gay, lesbian. Does that take away from the aspect that they are supposed to be a human being, a person? No, they don't take away from that, right? Okay, so basically what people who are objective to it are objective to the fact of basically their sexual nature. When it boils down to, this is what they're saying. Now, I don't think that most people who are against people who are gay, it's not that they're entitled to what their belief is. And you can't persuade people and make them be just because you are. But the problem is, if it was so natural, if it is so normal, how can you be offended? It's like people being offended because you're saying that I'm heterosexual. You like women. And guess what would end up happening? You're going to get your depopulation of peoples.
Yeah, that's the whole plan, huh?
That is the plan. It's not saying whether what you're doing is what you're doing, but the point is somebody had this as part of a plan. They claim that they want to get 5.5 billion people off the planet. Besides giving them chemically, inducing them with drugs and concoction and poison in the food and the water, if you could get them in the reproduction aspect to same sex each other, then that's another part of the fruition in the plan.
That's easier for them. They laughing because that's easier for them. They ain't gotta do no work.
Right, you killing yourself voluntarily, even though it may, you know what I'm saying. And again, you know, it's gonna be a tough. It's a tough topic.
Yeah.
Because some people, okay, let's just say for instance, like sometimes I be telling people, I be like, man, this cat retarded.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, and today, you know, that word is very, very, and it always it's derogatory, and it is, you know, it could be demeaning.
It's been demeaning, but it's been used loosely. So.
Yeah, but because people say, well, you making fun of people who are retarded. No, if a person is retarded, you ain't got to say they retarded. People who say somebody's retarded is because, man, boy, you're supposed to be a person with all your logic thinking and, you know, faculties being used. But the way you acting, man, you acting as if you was born like the person who would be, you know, normally born in the way that became, you know, retardation.
You know, the funny thing is you rarely see, I'm not going to say you don't, but you rarely see, like, say I walked into a room and I didn't know that the person was like actually had a problem or retarded, and I'm like, what's wrong with him? They'll be like, they won't say retarded, but he has blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So that word retarded, I don't even think it's been used for people.
No, but again, politically correct. See, this politically correct comes along with the same territory, the topic that we're speaking on. See, everything has to be kind of softened and watered down because people are more sensitive.
Yeah, mad sensitive.
They mad sensitive.
I think the dudes got way more sensitive than anything. Like, man, it's like, I don't know if you know this, but like you guys heard to see a lot more dudes punching females, a lot more. actually hitting them, knocking them out.
Yeah.
In my age group, I can't say, but like in my age group, but maybe a little bit more higher, you see that a lot.
Well, there's a lot of frustration going on because a lot of these households are ran by single-parent mothers, and so a lot of these dudes are raised up under the their knowledge and their education of self began with just their mother, and if the mother has these tendencies to be a nagger, complainer, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can breed in that son a kind of a disliking, even though that's his mother and he loves his mother, but when he comes across a female that is like that remind him how his mama was getting on him, he's going to lash out.
Yeah.
Because he would have lashed out on his mama, but he ain't going to take that from you.
No.
And so a lot of these males have been inbred with a lot of female tendencies.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for all this. I mean, just us talking, you can kind of see it's like a design. So when they took the man out of the household and made the woman the breadwinner and made her to be the sole provider and the raiser of the children, you then dociled and took out that masculine energy.
Yeah.
So if you take that masculine energy out of the household and it's a feminine energy amongst a young warrior who's growing up and don't have that energy, he has to now go out on the street because the street is renegades. It's all about survival. So you're going to get that energy, but look at the education that you're going to get with it.
Yeah.
Selling drugs, being in gangs and all that other stuff, and that's gonna correlate, and this is gonna breed this so-called young cat because he didn't get the instruction that he get here is about survival in the streets and the way to play this game.
Yeah.
It ain't about life. Whereas if the father's in the household, the father through his his visual acts that you see him do, plus what he's laying down, what he's saying to the law through his mouth and his actions as to how to discipline, can instill. But if you take that out, and now what you're doing is you done bred in a feminine spirit in these young men, and this is what you're talking about when you're seeing a lot of these cats soft, and they soft like that.
Mad soft.
They mad soft, and so must shooting and killing because they saying, man, you looking at me too hard, or you said something I didn't like. People going out to fight people that saying stuff on Facebook, huh?
Yeah, they kill over that. Not even fight, kill.
You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you ain't never been taught? They ain't even talking about they want to make new rules and stuff about bullying and all this. Wait, huh? These are the natural elements of what molds and help you to grow as a person.
Yeah.
You better learn that you can't whoop everybody, and some things you're gonna have to learn how to get a tough skin. But if I try to protect you from all these elements, what kind of individual you going to be when you get older?
Yeah.
You're going to be soft butter, easy for the picking. So it's easy to now, so now it's easy for me scientifically to now use chemicals because, again, the chemical elements combined can induce something in you, and I already got you with a feminine kind of energy, and then I can lower your testosterone in males and raise them in females, and then you breed in what? What are you breeding?
Some gay people.
See? So this stuff can be designed. It don't have to be so natural to the fact that you say, well, God created everything, and if God created, it's all acceptable. There was a book called Brave New World.
Yeah.
And it was talked about these mothers sitting here doing all this scientific stuff and seeing and sitting back and watching and seeing the stuff that they created and seeing how it was evolving in these people.
Yeah.
What makes people think that just because that may be a book and they may label it fiction, that somebody ain't doing this in reality?
Based on the true story.
Or based on what is really being done. It's the same thing like how some people, when you look at movies, and they say movies are metaphysically giving messages inside the movie.
Yeah.
So the same thing could be that
according to these plans, King Alfred and so forth, 1975 or 77, depopulation with Henry Kissinger and them, when they talked about all this stuff. And then here we are in this day and age where there's an influx. Because let me tell you something. If so many people was in the closet that was gay, they said before now, there should be way more old people gay than there is young people.
Hey, why you say that?
Huh?
Why you say that?
Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Why is it more young gays than there is old gays? Because something done happened within a time period that is now producing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because if gayness had been around for as long as we want to go back, then there should be, when I said the scale of 50-50, it should be about 50-50.
Yeah.
There should be like a segment of gay folks, and most of them are young. And what they try to do is they try to get these older ones and put them to show that, well, it's been around for a long time. And that they've been doing this for a long time. But there should be just as many as old ones as there is young ones.
Yeah.
So where's this influx of all this young gay, and especially when we're talking about the black gays? Everybody knew somebody, maybe had somebody and knew some. But again, like you say, closet, but they, you can't hide that energy, from the outside. They couldn't hide that. I had a friend when I used to go to his house before I knew that his brother was gay. When I used to come over, they would run and push him, hide him in the room, or have me go in his room, my friend room. We go hang in his room so the brother could go and leave. So they didn't never want me. And then one day when I seen them, I was kind of like looking like, so with old boy, I'm saying, oh, he hiding from the, the FBI got him hiding. He gave me some cocky-mamie story, right?
Damn.
Yeah. Gave me this cocky-mamie story about it. And I realized, I said, oh. Brother gay. You feel what I'm saying? And I used to feel uncomfortable when he would be there.
Yeah.
Because when you, again, not having the education of knowing, I'm not saying that I'm too, comfortable. They ain't in my, put it like this, ain't nobody in my house like that. So if I have to be in the confines of other places and they there, that's just what it gotta be.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But I'm uncomfortable because I'm coming where he's at. This is when I'm about like 10, 11 years old at this time, and I ain't seen this before. I ain't used to this.
Yeah. And
obviously, if the family is going so much out their way to hide it, this is the same argument that they having. You gotta accept us, and it's like, well, why are you pushing so much on people when you got to understand again where this came from? And matter of fact, since we on that, let me take to the scripture let me take you one of the scriptures in the Bible that talks about it. Now you can go to Romans chapter 1 verses 24, and I think it's through 27. It says this. It says, therefore God, in keeping with the desires of their hearts, gave them up to uncleanliness, that their bodies might be dishonored among them, even those who exchanged the truth of God for the lie, and venerated and rendered sacred service to the creation rather than the one who created, who is blessed forever. Amen. That is why God gave them up to disgraceful sexual appetites, for both their female changed the natural use of themselves into contrary to the nature, and likewise even the males left the natural use of their female and began violating, inflamed in their lust towards one another, male with males, working what is obscene, and receiving in themselves the full recompense which was due for their errors. Now, according to the scripture in 1 Romans 24 through 27, This is an argument that these people have to have with the church.
Yeah.
Did God say that? Did God say that? Or did man say that?
Yeah.
But no one, again, you don't want to mess with your credibility.
No.
But according to what this said and God said, and those people who don't understand why these people have this so-called, I ain't going to say animosity, but just a little repulse or a little in opposition to it, this is the foundation that most of these people got. And it goes back from grandma, great-grandma, on back.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing that, like you said, the church ain't gonna do that because you mess up their credibility and then other things go downhill. Find a little loophole, but they don't want that. And I don't think gay people have enough. I don't even think gay people have enough power to go against the church. You know what I mean? To fight the church.
Well, again,
I don't think they could fight. I don't think
the thing. This my point here is, and it's something what I said a little earlier. The church and the gay or homosexual community have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Because of the pedophilia that had been going on in the church.
Uh-huh.
So, again, this debate needs to have between the church, and now the church has to come out. See, this is what it is. The gays have realized that they probably say, hey, God didn't write that.
Probably.
They don't fit, hey, God in there, because if the guy rather, how they in there yet they preaching the word of God and yet they in there sleeping with little boys? It's a pedophilia act because it's a unconsenting young person versus an adult, and here we are two consenting people. So if it's good for the goose over here, it's good for the gander over here.
Yeah.
So obviously God couldn't have said that because obviously you ain't afraid of what God is saying, that the full recompense for your lifestyle that you've been living, you're going to bear that. You're going to bear for that lifestyle you live, you will bear the recompense of that. When you gave up the natural process of the one who created. I'm the one who created you, male and female.
Yeah.
But you decide that you want to do it the way you want to do it. But you will benefit on the recompense of the desire of your flesh that lets you want. If God didn't say this, then they got an argument. They got a case they can win. Then how long will it take society, you understand, to change? That's why I said that's why they pulled this bombarding you. I mean, even got shows on TV or where the two dudes got a little girl and all this. They got all kinds of shows.
And you know what's gonna happen though? I'm gonna make sure I got me a real girl right now. Just in case, because going down the line,
yeah,
all these people changing, they cutting off their things, and they getting coming female, coming a male, somehow change their voice, do all this thing, add testosterone. You ain't gonna know who you hitting on. There's gonna be so many of them, like you said. There's gonna be so many of them. Then you gonna be with one, and then you gonna be with the gay person that's whatever transvestite. Because some of them, I don't know, some they all like to transgress, like, but whatever. You gonna be one of them, and then you gonna be like, man, I actually love this person, so fuck it, I'm gonna just be gay too. And then that's just how we get everybody. You know what I
mean? It's possible because I mean, something you just stated. I remember hearing about Cordell Stewart and his wife, and that she was claiming that this was what the problem was with him. And matter of fact, it was somebody in hip hop that said that was it not DMX? It was one of them who left their wife based on the fact that the cat that he was in locked up with, that's who he fell in love with and divorced his wife to be. So again, this is going back to that scale. I'm not saying that them stories are actual factual. But let's just say, for instance, if this is the kind of stuff that's happening. I remember there was an influx when we look in the black community when they was talking about on the down low.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it became this fruition and all these brothers was on the down low. And
you know, the thing is about gay people, when it comes to black people, man, they the most flamboyant when it comes to gayness. Like, they take gayness to another level. That's the thing that disturbs me the most, black gay people.
Well, it's either you all in or you all out.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? And I'm glad you mentioned that because I was something I was thinking about, which is I believe that while we have such a big influx of black men who are becoming homosexuals and women who are lesbians, is because economically, see, you could be heterosexual, strong black man, strong black woman. Well, we're gonna take the woman aspect because women have been using the design to be against the black man. So let's say strong black man and trying to be a man, do all the things you need to do to sustain and maintain your family, and because you are black, there's so many doors closed to you, and you're so stigmatized and and put in such a little corner that it's a struggle being a heterosexual black man. But if you are a black man, docile, homosexual, you can bring right on in and become in there. And again, going back to what you said in the beginning, you said we talking about the power that they have economically. They got businesses, and all that stuff. So don't we see why the influx of black homosexuality on men is rising? Because economically it's feasible. I've seen on shows where the dude was pretending to be gay so he could just juice the dude money.
That's what I was just about to say. Like in movies and shit, they always have a nigga cross-dressing, have a nigga playing have a straight man playing a gay person, like, and they put it in the movies and make people say that it's okay. It's like, no. That's like you said, it's like a magic behind it, Hollywood behind it, doing some. It's like everybody got to tie into it, you know.
Right, and it's just that's to me that's part of the feeding of that design. See, when you're using movies and understand the psychology that's used in movies, again, when they talk about not mythology, but the metaphysical aspects that are put in movies, it means there's a psychology in it. And so the people who are creating it, when they put those things that you're talking about, having certain idols, icons who cross-dress, is planting the seeds in that one who may be on borderline. You feel what I'm saying? And looking at it, a Tyler Perry, when Martin did it, when Eddie did it. You feel what I'm saying? We go down, even Richard Pryor did it.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you bring up Tyler Perry, it's like he is the most contradicted, but it's like he in the middle between the church and the gay, because his stuff was first like came out from the church, but he's cross-dressing,
right?
Like it's like a double message into that. You know what I mean? It's like a contradiction.
Yeah. And
I don't know how people just let that slide like it's okay. I mean, of course I mean, I don't really like the movies, but I I see the message they try to say behind it. You know, how black, you know, they have to have a type of black woman getting beat or something like that. You know, but that they take it lightly. Like the cross dressing is normal in these movies. No, it's not right.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you have to go to another person for employment. So let's look at black actors and comedians and just as well as hip hop artists and rappers.
Yeah.
When they try to, you know, be versatile and be more than just the genre of that their profession is in, a lot of them try to go into acting.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you have to go to somebody else and ask them to be a participant in their projects, they have the power to create the so-called character that you're going to play if you want to be participant in it.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to when Dave Chappelle was on Oprah and he talked about trying to throw that dress on him. And he was like, I don't need the dress. I'm a comedian. And you talking about you trying to add the dress to make it more funnier when I'm a natural comedian. I don't need that.
That's funny without the dress.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, it was a subliminal message to be sent through through the image of Dave Chappelle, portraying that to those who looked at him as icon or, you know, inspired or inspiration to them.
Yeah.
That plants a seed in them. It's the same thing when you look at Vin Reeves. And this brother is, you know, a big brother.
Uh-huh.
And then to have him play that role that they had him when he was getting pumped up by them white boys in that basement, and what was the name of with Bruce Willis?
Yeah, what the hell?
Then he played this movie where he was a cross-dresser who was taking care of a little girl. He's played so many roles like that, to the fact that as much as he comes across supposed to be masculinity and power, but they done dociled him so many roles that it's like can you take him seriously?
Yeah.
So, to me, it's about sometimes damaging the credibility of an individual so that if they start to come out and start speaking against things that need to be spoken, then the question mark in the back of the mind of a lot of people won't hear him because, hey, this cat here does this, does that. That's what you hear in hip-hop, that these dudes here, or this dude here is this, and this dude here is that.
Well, they have. Well, when you talk about hip hop, they have like a genre. They have a gay hip hop, right? So they have a gay hip hop, but it does not market. It does not sell well. But I want to know, like, say you have rappers, and you know maybe some of them are gay. I wonder if I know a rapper wouldn't go to. I mean, if somebody finds out that one of these rappers are gay, and everybody knows. I wonder if they still will sell in the normal industry, or would they go sell in the gay industry? You know what I mean? Like,
well, okay. What my opinion would be to this is that hip hop is used in a way to design and to formulate in the minds of the people that those who in hip hop are speaking about. Gives them an image that they supposed to be looked upon as that's the way where they come from.
Yeah.
So if it's about street, being thug, being ruthless or hustler, and then you're going to throw in that, and then in the black community, well, we're going to take the foundation of the black community and how they feel about homosexuality. Hip-hop could not thrive if it had that stigma on it. Knowingly. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would not stick, and it would not be believable. And now the damage that the people who using hip hop to create all the degradation in the hoods, then it would become docile because they wouldn't listen to it because that's some BS. You feel what I'm saying? That's on some half stuff.
But it cracks me up. Like, how do they even have a market? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who gave gay rappers a lane? Like, what the hell?
But you got to remember, power on two poles.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Majority or a lot of the people that you think, these people that are running a lot of these companies, executives and CEOs, they all in that same category. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of them fall under that. And so these people are in a lot of positions of power. So wheeling and dealing and setting up, establishing stuff because the economics is there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so this is how they have the power to push the way they pushing. Because if they was like, oh, see, look, black people got numbers and they got money, but they have no unity. And so by they not having unity, they don't have the power that they could have. When they have $1 trillion that is used, that circulate, but everybody else is getting that money. When you look at that ethnicity, or I ain't gonna say ethnicity, but if you look at this community of peoples, you best believe they all using their money to circulate within their community of peoples. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That money goes from one of them to another one of them to another one of them. So the currency will make a whirlwind or a tornado or a hurricane, and it expands.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you in all kinds of industries, huh? You running a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and you can and understanding how the power of media works and music. That would be one of your vices that you would use that could facilitate your agenda. You see what I'm saying? So this thing it's much bigger.
Yeah, it is.
It's much bigger than people they don't really realize how big this really is. And what is the end game for it? Is it to 100% tie everything, which means taking you back to a time where people believed in androgyny, meaning when man and woman, or like they say, hermaphrodites, when they was one together. But in this case, it'd be same sex.
Yeah.
And then what would happen? Again, if we take a hypothesis, a story, and just say that we say that if you took all the people who say that they disenfranchised because they are homosexuals and lesbians, and then you allow them to say, okay, we're going to let you have your own planet, and all of them was to go on that planet, how long would it be if you went? If they all went to one planet and lived and loved the way they want to live and love. If you came back in 50 to 100 years, the population of that damn place would be decimated. And then this is what you want to force on everybody. We got to understand, he said, accept me because I'm a person. but your lifestyle is not conducive to create. And that's where the problem is, and that's what the church has founded on based on what they said in the scriptures. Now we go back to another scripture, right? Another scripture in 1 Timothy chapter 1, 9 and 11 says this. In the knowledge of this fact, that law is promulgated not for the righteous man, but for persons lawless and unruly, ungodly, and sinners, lacking loving kindness and profane, murderers of fathers and mothers, murderers of mothers, manslayers, fornicators, men who lie with men, kidnappers, liars, false swears, and whatever other things in opposition to the helpful teachings, according to the glorious good news of the happy God which I was entrusted. Now, just being gay doesn't necessarily is the only sin there is. There's a whole bunch of other sins.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And this is what they don't want to be labeled. They want to be labeled as something dirty or profane, or outside what is normal. But again, the foundation of the people believed in, who have their foundation in morals, come from the church. And this is what the church has taught them. And so, men who lie with men has something to do with homosexuality.
Yeah.
Fornicators is men who sleep with other men, or just having sex that is not supposed to be under the realm of marriage. Murderers, we know that. Lacking loving kindness. Profane. Kidnappers, liars, false swears. All this falls in that same realm. So the only thing here is, those other things are things that you can do. The one, men lying with men, is something that you can see everybody doing.
Yeah.
Everything else is, a murder you see after the fact, right?
Yeah.
Profane, you can hear somebody cursing somebody out. Liars, we all know somebody who lies.
Yeah.
False swears, well, we know people lie on people all the time. That's what tabloids is all about. Kidnappers. Every day. But this men that lie with men is open when you putting it in everybody's face, and you walking around and you say, okay, the marriage and all that. Okay, if you want to do that, do it. But that according to the foundation of what has been instilled, that most people believe in through what is been given their morals, because it's supposed to be a Christian nation.
Yeah. The
morals that have been founded by the people here, they believe that you are outside of what is normal. And if you're outside of what is normal, they're supposed to be in opposition to it, if they're supposed to love God. Now, again, the whole fight here is about gay versus the church.
Yeah.